How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Unspoken issues.
Okay, so where do we start today? Well, I say we start with Warstrike. And hopefully I can continue to enunciate Warstrike correctly throughout the rest of this podcast. So Warstrike was not a title that I was picking up at all from Malibu's Ultraverse. Looks like I went 7 issues. Like I mentioned last podcast, we're going to be looking at issue 6, which is a Rafferty tie-in. Our cover has what looks like Rafferty leaping through the air. It almost looks like he has a little bit of a mask on over his eyes, and he is slicing forward with his knife across what I presume is Warstrike's chest. Warstrike with a gun of some sort that is interesting. It's got like a little, okay, you know the Wiimote wrist straps? I mean, think of a more manly version of a pistol that has one of those wrist straps attached to it. That's on Warstrike's here we go. Warstrike's right arm, just so he doesn't lose his pistol. And it looks like he's riding a bike too. That's actually a fairly ingenious invention, I guess. Make sure you don't lose your pistol. Okay, let's take a look at our creative team here. Oh, all right. Well, our first page is a big black page that says fear across it. You'd almost think this was like an ad, but I think it's the title of the issue, because down at the bottom we have our, I can never say this right, Indicia? Warstrike Volume 1, Number 6, October of 94. All right, here we go. Here's our creative team. Script by Dan Danko. Pencils by Huang Nguyen. Bob Downs on inks. Susan Dorn on letters. Tim, what looks to be Devar on color design. And Food Hammer. These company names that do the colors sometimes are hilarious. Food Hammer with Tabitha Martin for interior colors. So we open up the issue. Somebody's running from someone into what appears to be a darkened alley. And there's Rafferty. Yeah, Rafferty's wearing a mask here for sure. First time I think I've seen him with the mask on, which really doesn't cover up a whole lot. As far as features go, it's just a small metallic mask that goes over his eyes and then kind of goes down his cheeks a little bit. You can still see his mouth, his goatee. And I think he shot this kid that was running from him with a little crossbow that he has. I don't know if he shot the kid and killed him, or, I mean, the kid yells, "Ack!" So he's probably dead. And now he's going back to this young lady who is tied up and gagged. Yeah, he definitely killed this person. Oh, he's pointing out to this lady, "I see you've noticed my new mask. I do hope you like it. It is Halloween night, after all." Oh, the mask didn't last long. Here comes Roar. Warstrike punches the crap out of Rafferty. "This is where your killing ends," Warstrike commands. We got a bit of a firefight here. Oh, looks like he tossed a grenade at him. Rafferty tossed a grenade Warstrike's way. Just as he unloads and starts exploding things, the debris and dust scatter, and there's an open manhole. Rafferty has made his escape. Okay, I guess this is the next chapter. Big black page that just says hate. Next is Rafferty watching some footage of Warstrike on TV. He hates him. He puts his mask back on. He's going to try to find Warstrike and kill him. And Rafferty's killed a, I assume an Ultra, painted a wall with blood, and it says, "Hey Warstrike, 1 down, 6 to go," with an arrow pointing one way. And now he's found another body, blood on the wall. "This way, where are you?" So I assume a few days have passed, and now Rafferty is making his final moves to draw Warstrike in. Who is this dude? So there's this homeless guy who was near the area, decides to start searching through a dumpster, and this guy crawls out of the dumpster. I'm sure this is some dude that's pretty prominent in the Warstrike comics, because he pops out of this dumpster and he's yelling, "Kyle, you're dead, Kyle. I swear on all my hate, nothing's going to stop me from ripping your heart out for this." And he's brushing the trash off. He's got a torn vest, And we got a little editor's note down here. See Warstrike number 4 and number 5 for all the details. Obviously, this is somebody that's been around for a little bit. Don't know what he was doing in the dumpster, but he's mad about it. Whoever Kyle is, he better watch out. Warstrike continues his path following these arrows, finds another dead body, and then another. X marks the spot. Okay, all right, so did I miss a panel where it said that this was earlier? It does not. I don't know if the continuity is right here or not. Does he mention? No. Does that part? Well, that's the beginning, I'm pretty sure. So this is why I'm a little confused. I think everything that we're seeing here with Warstrike following these bodies is what leads Warstrike to find Rafferty at the beginning of this, because all these dead bodies lead him to this warehouse, and then they cut to inside the warehouse where that one girl at the beginning is bound and gagged, along with the young boy who just got free. So we know that he ends up getting killed. This guy just gets loose. He takes off running, and that's where Rafferty kills him. Our next title, or the next page, says Hope. Black page, but this time Hope is shattered a little bit with Rafferty's mask peeking through. Now Warstrike is rescuing the girl. Warstrike's heading down into the sewer. He sees Rafferty's mask laying in the sewer. Oh, there's Rafferty above him. He didn't see him up above. When he attacks and he starts beating the crap out of Warstrike. Gonna have to look up Warstrike's power set here. He says, damn, this hurts. No healing power. No wire. I'm blank. Makes it sound like he gets his powers somehow. Let's go take a look. Warstrike. Malibu. Give me a fandom. We got a writeup.org. Okay, real name, Brandon Tark. Widowed. Powers and abilities. Warstrike is an average gun-toting, muscle-bound action hero with superpowers. He has been enhanced with wetware, allowing him to regenerate himself. How reliable, however, this power is not. When under stress, Warstrike can sometimes get on the wire. This grants him short-range precognitive abilities. These allow him to see the possible outcomes and possibilities of the situations that he is in, which is used to perform unusual dodges, land blows, or shots in unlikely circumstances for tactical maneuvering. Warstrike once performed psychometry, meaning that he visualized the past while holding an object associated to it. Rafferty has taken it to Warstrike here. Warstrike gets the upper hand, but then Rafferty grabs his knife, throws it, but misses. That gives Rafferty just enough time to jump and grab this massive gun. Here's where his visions take place. One vision shows Warstrike getting shot and his head just vaporizing. The other one, he gets shot in the chest. Another one in the back. He says, I will be shot. There's no question. The concern is, will I live? As he jumps, he takes one right in the back. And as he's down, Rafferty stands above him with the butt of a gun. He says, it's been nice and all, Warstrike, but dare I say it, lights out. As the black begins to fade and says, I am the lurking fear, I am the growing hate, I am the killer of men, the slayer of giants, the destroyer of hope. I am Rafferty, and I wait in the darkness of all men's souls. And there lies Warstrike with his mask on. Blood coming out of his mouth. The rats are getting ready to jump on his body. And that's the end. So I don't know. It looks like Rafferty won here. Interesting play. I know we go to Warstrike number 7, and I already can see the picture of the next issue. Don't kid yourself, Warstrike is dead. Join us next month for a very special issue as we venture into the origins of Warstrike, revealing his life, his death, and what lies beyond. Be here in 30 days for A Lonely Place of Dying. That sounds familiar. Don't kid yourself, Warstrike's dead. Interesting that Rafferty left him with his mask. Okay, let's go to the next one. We're going to do our next part, which is going to be Firearm issue 14. And just in case, I didn't say this earlier, the Warstrike issue just said, I think, guest starring Rafferty on the front with the blood splatter. Rafferty is definitely making his impact felt in the Ultraverse. Let's head to Firearm issue 14. So it looks like our creative team has changed up a tiny bit here. James Robinson still writing, Brian O'Connell penciling, Mike Christian on inks, Patrick Owsley on letters, Robert Alvord on color design, Violent Hues on interior colors, Ruth Yasharpour on color edits. And here we have part 2, Blood Splatter, on the front of Firearm. Our cover's pretty interesting. We got what appears to be the arm of Sludge coming out of the sewer, reaching up, grabbing at Firearm here. They're again in another alleyway. I'm going to have to look up Sludge to get an idea of the power set. Let's dive in here real quick. Title of the story is The Apple and Under. That's right, he was heading back to New York. He's having a hard time staying focused. He loves New York. God, I love New York. It's no. Gotta find Rafferty's targets. Gotta warn them. God, I love. No, gotta work. So he's a fan of the Big Apple. It looks like he's at a strip joint. Of course, his mind is wandering to Ellen. Our first page is a full-page spread, and then our third page is a full-page spread. Finds another Ultra dead. This Ultra has eyes in his fingertips. Rafferty got him. He's laying dead at his kitchen table. At first, he thinks this Ultra is one of the targets, but then realizes that he's been dead a while. So there's two targets here that Firearm is to try and get to stop Rafferty from killing. Looks like we're switching scenes to a church. This guy thinks that Jesus is in this little baby girl. So we got a priest who raving about God's son coming back as a daughter, a baby girl with a healing touch and a healing heart and God's grace in her soul. Is the baby going to be the Ultra? Rafferty's killed kids before, so it might be something to worry about. Back with Firearm here, he's Alec climbing up a fire escape. When he finds the Ultra, a young girl with a large, I want to say this is an ostrich with a massive head. And he says he's come to warn her. This Ultra's name is Vinegarrette. Vinegarette. Vinegarette. Some of these names are sounding like I've heard them before. Firearm's talking about how she had ran into somebody that he knows, like some reporter in Philadelphia. She mentioned a pair called the Bash Brothers. He just gives her this litany of all these people that supposedly had talked to a janitor where he got his information in order to find her. Because janitors are the ghosts who walk in here and who people never see. She's holding up her finger, pointing at a firearm, and there's like stuff dripping from her finger. Can't tell if she's like made of wax. She does have this weird kind of sheen. And then she touches his nose and leaves like a goo on his nose. All right, I've got to look this person up. Who? Vinegarette. Did I really mispronounce Vinegarette? That's what I thought it was. Certainly they wouldn't call this person Vinegarette, but I've never seen it spelled out before. Vinegarette. Malibu comic. Let's see what we get. Oh, we've got a list of Ultraverse characters. I'm sure she's going to show up, but not have like a... No. Looks like she is in Sludge quite a bit. Okay, here's a WordPress article. rottenink.wordpress.com. It's from June of 2024. Who wrote this? Bloodline Matt. Talks a little bit about Vinegarette in here. Vinegarette and her weird bird creature, organism 0.9B or beta? Okay. Vinegarette seems to sweat a slick oil-like substance that makes her hard to grab onto, while organism 0.9B is a big silly-looking bird. He uses its head like a battling ram. Battling ram? I think he meant batting ram. Okay. All right, looks like they're joining Sludge in issue 11 of Sludge. Okay. All right. An established or going to be established character. Let's head back to the issue. All right. Now we get a look at the news. Firearm is at a bar watching the news on TV. Somebody's talking about Darren Lynch and his killing from last issue. They already know that Alec Swan is pursuing an ultra killer. This is just an exposition, kind of covering what we talked about in the previous issue. Now everybody knows that Alec Swan is in New York, and the police are looking for him. He's worried about Vinegarette because she didn't seem to take the warning as serious as he wanted her to. Somebody is cluing in Firearm or Alec to the existence of Sludge. Apparently somebody's brought in explosives and they're going to target the sewers to take down Sludge. So Alec is heading down into the sewers. Here's that strike team he ran into last issue. And they're down there trying to set these explosives. Sludge is taking them on. Let's learn a little bit about Sludge. Created by Steve Gerber, Gary Martin, and Aaron Lopresti. I won't give you a full background here, but Sludge, large, blue, goopy looking creature, almost reminds me of Man-Thing. More Swamp Thing, actually. Except he's blue and he's always down in the sewer. Sludge has tremendous strength and durability as well as vast regenerative capabilities, allowing him to heal from near-fatal wounds in seconds. Submersion in water speeds up the process. He does not need food or air and is immune to most chemical toxins. Sludge can cause spontaneous tissue growth in others by touch. Steve Gerber always writes some pretty wacky stuff. I say always. I know we've covered a couple issues, I think, of Codename Strike Force that were not very wacky. If you catch a previous episode where me and Evan Bevins talked about She-Hulk, Steve Gerber wrote some of those issues, and it was great. Howard the Duck was involved, and always zany stuff. Real mind-bending sometimes. I think that's why Sludge kind of stood out amongst the rest of the Malibu titles. I assume Steve Gerber probably hit it with his signature flair. All right, so there's Sludge. Sludge is getting shot at. The strike team is trying to set these explosives, and Sludge is fighting them off. Alec joins in the fight. Rafferty is there. One thing I left out about Rafferty is his right front tooth is gold and has a little heart in it. That's a choice. Anyway, Rafferty's there. Shoots an arrow right through Alec's right shoulder. Oh, and Alec is mad. He's laying out this strike team left and right. Rafferty's just egging him on, jumping through the sewers. Still has this arrow in his shoulder. Starts climbing a ladder. Meanwhile, Sludge is just like, I can't tell if he even understands what's going on. He's fighting these people, and there's bullets and stuff flying at him, and he's just kind of watching things. He probably appreciates the help. Alec has tracked down Rafferty to a different part of the sewer, and of course, Rafferty's just sitting there running his mouth. You don't know where I am. Sounds travel. Oh, so he's telling Alec that there is a fail-safe override device that disarms the explosives that have been set. But he has a little bit over a minute. But he can only choose either to disarm the explosives or find Rafferty. Looks like he found the device. He's jumping for it. Meanwhile, we're taking a look at Vinegarrette and 0.9B organism, and they're thinking about getting out of town. Oh boy. You know, for a Malibu comic, James Robinson's doing some stuff here. More on James Robinson in the 90s in a future episode. If this goes the way that I think it just went, this is some fairly decent storytelling. We'll see. Alec dives for this device to try and turn off the explosives, finds it, and hits a button. Meanwhile, we're seeing a couple panels of Vinegarrette and 0.9B at their house, getting ready to pack and leave. They're heeding Alec's warning, but then as soon as he punches the button, the building that Vinegarrette and 0.9B are in explodes. Our next scene is Alec in his hotel room trying to get cleaned up. Says he called the cops, told him about the explosives. Rafferty calls Alec, says he fed the information to the bartender who gave him the location of Sludge. He says, I wanted you to make the choice between the sewers and me. The fail-safe device did indeed disable the bombs. I didn't lie. What I didn't reveal was that the switch was a two-way mechanism. As you flicked it to disarm the sewer bombs, you primed explosives laced within the hideaway of poor dead Vinegarrette. Thanks for the help. Okay, well done. Next issue, Swan in San Francisco with the Freaks and the Nightman. So there we go. Special guest appearance and part 2 of the Rafferty Saga. I'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks for joining us. Unspoken Issues is part of the UnspokenDecade.com, the home for 90s comics, blogs, and podcasts. Unspoken Issues also has a Facebook group you can join if you are interested. Just search the Unspoken Issues podcast and request to join. All of this would not be possible without W2Mnet.com, so make sure to seek them out for more podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please feel free to share, and we look forward to entertaining you again soon.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No